Hello, my name is Arlene Tincher and I am the Technical Director of the Putnam County Public Library, and today we're going to talk about Windows 10 for seniors. Today we're going to look at the basics of Windows, the Start menu, safety and security, how to locate files, and browsing the web. The basic. Here you can see we have an image of a desktop. This right here is your window icon, which is located down here. The little four windows that you can see is a trademark of Windows. Here you can see all the icons that we have listed. These are various on each computer. You can have as many, you can have a whole desktop full, you can have one or two. Down here we have the search, which we'll go over. This is a task menu, we'll go over that. Here are icons down here into the task bar, we'll go over those. And these over in here, which we'll go over those as well. So on the tour here, we're going to start with a search. So right in here you can type anything that you might want to search. If it's a file on your machine, you can type in the name if you can remember that. If you can't remember the name, you could type in the extension, which say a Word doc would be, to search for all Word docs would be asterisk, period, DOC, or DOCX, depending upon the version of Office that you have. And in that, it's going to pop up a side window here, and it's going to show you everything. Plus, it will show you things that's on the web. So I went out and I did meatloaf, just as an easy thing to show. So this is a search input, typed it in. So then it showed me things here, which I had nothing on my machine that was anything about meatloaf. So all it's doing is showing what's on the web. So, and it gives you the best match. And it shows you here when you can click on those and see what you want to look at. Down here we have the task view. So as you're working on things, it kind of builds in the background. It stores it for you. You can have multiple windows open or doing multiple files or whatever. And this is an easy way to see what your task view is if you click on this little icon right there. I clicked on mine, and this is what I had. So I'm working on this PowerPoint, and I had a document open. I had some training manuals open. I had my work for the board, telling what we did last month open, so that way they can see what's going on. But this is what you see whenever you click on the task view. Yours will look different, obviously, depending upon your task. Over in here, you're going to see your network connection. Now, if you're connected to a wired connection, which is called an Ethernet connection, you're going to have this type of look. If you're using a laptop that have wireless, you're going to have a different one. But either way, it's connecting you to the outside world, and that's where that little icon resides. Your Wi-Fi, as you can tell down there in that bottom right hand where you saw the little computer one, if it's Wi-Fi, you're going to see something that looks like this. You can connect to private networks with your password. So if you have a home network, you have to have that password to get into it. Hotels will give you those whenever you check in. Public networks are without a password, like our library. A lot of restaurants will have an open Wi-Fi connection. I know McDonald's, Taco Bell, those are big ones as far as that out in the world. And you can have a shortcut somewhere on the main screen to see those. So here I clicked on mine on my laptop, and I had, again, you saw that little Wi-Fi right here, and that's how that looks as it's down there. This is your sound. This, of course, is your battery that you want to connect in. This is a Windows look. This is over here for task. It tells you any kind of what I call toast icons, so they'll tell you different things that's going on back here that you might want to do. So this here is the Wi-Fi. So this is my Wi-Fi at home, and you have to know, like I said, that password to connect to it. So I connected to it, and it's in there, and it's going to reconnect every single time I come back with it. So here I had some other ones. And sometimes you can even get like your neighbor, which is that one right there. Down in here, it shows you the Wi-Fi box. Here's an airplane mode. If you're ever out and you don't want to hit your Wi-Fi, you just want to work on your machine, you can hit that. And you won't be connected to any network whatsoever. Sometimes people inadvertently hit that and they get knocked off the network, and then they can't figure out why. You need to go down and click on that and check. And it will turn into a little airplane down here instead of a Wi-Fi icon. This is for a mobile hotspot. That's when you're using your phone or another device maybe your internet provider is giving you to be a little hotspot so that you can connect multiple devices to it. And that's a whole nother ball game to talk about. Over here we have our date and time, so you can see what's going on with that. So again, you're going to have different icons out here. So this one was already done, so it's got, Microsoft Edge, it's got Google, it's got your trash container, which the trash is always the one that's always on your machine when you first load it. You're always going to see that recycle bin. This PC, and then these are your document files. So whatever the name of your login, when you log in, it's going to show that as a person, and it's going to have a name under it. So here's like Charles. Mine at this computer is Backdoor, I believe it's called. So you just have different names that you can have. It could be your own personal name. It could be whatever you name that profile to log on the machine. So if you want to add some icons to your desktop other than just the basic ones, which again, this one got loaded with the recycle bin, and Microsoft Edge would be on here. This and this would not. These are downloadable items that you have to go get, just like this and this folder that I added. So what you can do to add icons, you can right-click on your desktop, and it's going to give you this dialog box. And here you see Personalize. You're going to click on that. When that opens up to this other window here, it's going to have your settings and everything. You go down and click on Themes. And Themes has got some other things in there. You can select your own theme. You can make it your own look, your own design that you like to have. You can add other windows to it and just make it yours. But we are going into Desktop Icon Settings. Once you click on that, you're going to see your icon desktop your desktop icon settings. Here, none of them are checked except for Recycle Bin, and you can see the icon that's going to put out there on it. You can actually go in here and change those icons into something different if you want to play around with it, so that you can make it more yours and you know exactly what you're looking for, and that way you can have some fun with it too. So I went in and I checked Computer, User Files, Recycle Bin is always checked, and Control Panel, because I like to get into Control Panel to see applications that I might have loaded, to see printers, to get into faxes and that sort of thing. It just kind of helps out. And so when I added them, this is the look that came up. So this is the name of my profile, which is called Backdoor. This is this PC, which holds your C drive information. So when you click on that, you're going to see your whole C drive with all kinds of files and folders and whatnot. This is Recycle Bin, of course. And this is Control Panel. And in Control Panel, you have all types of different settings. You can have Windows updates. You can have printers. You can have power settings. Just all different kinds of stuff in that. Once you select it, you want to hit Apply, and it will put it out there. So now we're going to go over the taskbar where you can see things that are pinned to this. And these are all pinned. So anytime you open up an application, it's going to show you what's down here. So you can click on it and go back and forth. You don't have to keep coming over here and clicking something and open it. You don't have to keep going into your apps and looking into it. You can just click here, click here, click here, and it's going to pop those windows up for you on your desktop. If there's some out there that you don't like, that you don't want to have out there, let's say you put a couple out there that you really didn't want. So here's one's called the Play Store. This is the mail default icon that goes out there as well. You can right click on those and it's going to give you another dialog box where you can get rid of it, and we'll show you that right now. So what I did, I pinned my calculator earlier to it. So I right clicked on the calculator and it brings up this dialog box where you can make it either standard, scientific, programmer, data collection, and it has the name calculator, or you can unpin from the taskbar. So you click on that and that icon is going to go away. It won't be there anymore. Over here on the right side, you get status updates and programs that are running. As you open up some things, they'll be in here and you can see them. Again, a status update would be maybe your antivirus or your Windows updates, and it'll come up and there'll be another little box that'll pop up and it'll say updates are available. And that's going to be another section that we'll talk about. So now we're going to talk about the Start menu a little bit. So in here is the Start menu. So if you click on those 4 window icon down here, it's going to pop up on this side view all the applications and everything that you have. Plus it's also going to open up this side over here, which has got the live tiles. So you can see both of those. It will default as to what your machine comes with, as to what kind of tiles you have. There's some defaults in there, of course. You've got mail, you've got your calendar, the edge, photos, Skype comes usually on it. Facebook would probably be one that you would add. I'm not sure, I can't remember to be honest. The Microsoft Store, and then some games in here that you can also have. So on these tiles, you can do some things with them. You can left click on them and drag them around to make it more the way you want it to look in rearranging those tiles. So if you find that you use some more than others, or you want them down in a certain location that you have, and you can click on it a little easier, that's what that option's for, so you can rearrange them. And here, we want to show you what happens when you right click. When you right-click on an icon, a Windows tile, forgive me, you can unpin it from your Start, which would remove it from this. You can resize it. Under More, there's some different settings here, which if you see up here, it's got turn off, live tile, pin to taskbar, share, and then you have uninstall. And if you uninstall it, it gets rid of it from there, and you don't have to worry about that anymore. So again, you can right click on it and then you can go to that More option. You're going to see Turn Live Tile Off, Pin to Taskbar. You're going to have your app settings, Rate and Review, and Share. So it depends upon what it is that you've got on there, what you want to do with them. And here we're going to talk about safety and security. The number one rule that we have is that Microsoft, Apple, or Google will never ask you to call someone. So as you're browsing on the web, and I've seen this several times with patrons that come in and they say they've been hacked, some of them have followed through, and I've had to go back and fix the machines after they've gone through and accepted these people's settings and let them take over the machine and kind of mess up a lot of files. These aren't real. They may look it. People are very, very good at creating these things so that you can't see what's going on with it really. And they'll tell you you've got a virus, or somebody's hacked into your machine or whatever. And they want you to call these numbers. So there's different numbers for everyone out there. They change radically because that's what they want to do. You call it, it's going to take you somewhere out in the world. And there's going to be somebody waiting on the other end, and they're going to ask you if you will go to another page, and then they'll let you click on the page, and then you can type in, or they'll give you a code to put in, and then they have the access to remote into your computer, and they will take it over. And I have seen where they've actually locked all the files out and then demand a payment so that they can unlock them. It can be very expensive. It can be very damaging to your machine. So anytime you see any of this, you can do probably like a Control-Alt-Delete and come up with a task menu out there. It's going to be like a task manager. And under that you can hit, it's going to say Explorer or Chrome or whatever it's going to be that you're opened up with. And you can close that right from there. Then you'll need to go in and delete out your temp files and some other things, or bring it into the library, and we'll help get that cleaned up for you. So why would you want to update your computer? A lot of people tell me they never update their computer, but why would you want to? 1, it's safe, 2, it's easy, and 3, it keeps your computer up to date to help minimize those risks of people taking over your machine. So to update your computer manually, if you don't get these updates down here in your taskbar on the far right side where I said, it comes up automatically and does it, you can actually go in and down into your search, you can type in update. And then when you do that, it's going to have all these kind of things listed. It may be something different. It may be the same things. It just depends upon, how it reads update. So here it has checked for updates. So when you click on that, you're going to get the update screen. And in here, you can see over here on the left, you have Windows Update, Delivery Optimization, Windows Security, Backup, Troubleshoot, Recovery, Activation, just different things. One of the things right here I want to recommend is if it says Recovery, I believe they still do a recovery set point. I won't swear to that, but you can go in there and look and see how maybe you can recover your machine if needed, but I wouldn't recover it unless you know for sure, or you want to call and talk to me, or bring it into the library and have somebody check it out. This one here is Window Updates, which is what we were talking about. So you click on that, and it's going to give you this sidebar over here, and it's going to run real briefly, and it's going to say, this is when you last updated. If it's a week or two or a month or whatever, I would go ahead and check for the updates and run it and let that install and get those taken care of for your machine. If it's a big feature, like a major change to the operating system, and there's different versions out there, so you might go from a version 1900 to 1909, so that's going to be a jump. You're going to want to download and install it, and if you say now, you may want to do it like at night, so it could be an overnight session for you, and just leave your machine up and running and letting it do its thing. The reason I say this is because it can take up to anywhere from 30 minutes to possibly hours to do those updates and get them installed on your machine, especially if you haven't done it in quite some time, or if it's a new install. It will run and update everything from the time it was created, that machine was created and put out in the world, to the time that you've gotten it up and running. And it just takes some time to do that, so you might want to go ahead and just do it overnight and let it run and do its thing. Antivirus software. One of the greatest things about Windows 10 that I have to say that I truly like is that you don't really need to purchase any antivirus software, because it comes with its own security system, its own firewall, its own antivirus, just its own protection. It's called Windows Defender. Now, if you have McAfee or Norton or AVG or any of the others, those are fine. I'm not saying anything bad about them, but they are large processing applications, so they will use up a lot of your memory, and even if they're running in the background, because you don't think they're running, but they are. So they're always protecting your machine, which is a good thing. But in doing that, if you don't have a lot of hard drive space or you don't have a lot of memory in it, it can slow your machine down. So that's just one of the drawbacks to having those name brands, where Windows has come up with one where they have designed that to run in the background and not eat up all those resources as much as what these others can. So if you have them, you can go into that control panel as we talked about before, and it's going to have the apps and programs, and you can go in there, look at that, find whichever program you have, click on it, and then up at the top of the window you'll see where it says uninstall, and you can uninstall it that way. And that's the safest way to uninstall any program, is going through control panel, apps and programs, and uninstalling them there. And you can also cancel your membership on those, and I would launch it first, do that before uninstalling. Go ahead and cancel your membership and save you some money. So whenever you have your updating on the computer, you look into the Windows Security, like I said, and you type in Windows Security down here, and it's going to pop up, and there is the Windows Defender settings. So this, like I said, it's really great. It's got some features in it that's really good. I like that it can run in the background, and it's an antivirus program. It's a firewall program. It's just, they covered it pretty good with this. So here, as you can see, what that application can do, you can do a quick scan. You can have under here under scan options, if you have an external drive, you can scan to it. You can see your threat history. You can manage your settings down there with the virus and threat protection. You can see that the definitions are up to date and what date they were put in. It's all kinds of things out there that you can do with this. As I said, with Windows security, you've got your firewall and network protection, you've got your device security, you've got performance and health, account protection. So you just got various things with that, and it's really pretty good. It's free, so why not take advantage of that? Here we're going to talk about browsing the web. Here are 3 browsers that we pulled up, and there's different ones. There's one of them called Startup. There's one called DuckDuckGo. There's just various browsers out there, but these are the 3 we're looking at: Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, and Mozilla Firefox. Here's the benefits of each one. Microsoft Edge is included with Windows, and it's fast. The downside is, which I'll get into that next, but it can change on you because it is an ever-changing thing with Microsoft. The next one is Chrome. Now you have to go out using your Microsoft Edge, type in Chrome download, and it's going to take you to a page where you can download Chrome and install it. It'll ask you about setting it as a default. That's going to be totally up to you if you want Chrome to be your default or if you want Edge to be your default. But it's just whatever your preference would be. The thing with it is that the benefit is it has a market share. It integrates with other G Suite products. So if you have Gmail, you can bring it up and use that very simply with that. The Gmail applications, the G Suite applications are all kind of integrated with Google Chrome. Firefox is the most secure of all of them, and it blocks trackers. So trackers are those ones that every time you click on a page, it puts a little piece, it's called a cookie, out there in the world, and it saves it so that whenever you bring back up your web, you can actually see like little advertisements over here. It kind of gets rid of that with this one. So it's very secure. It runs really well. It's very applicable with other programs and applications and stuff, so you don't have to do a bunch of add-ons as you do with Chrome and maybe Explorer. The drawbacks is it's always redeveloping, so they're constantly changing it. And once this, you get used to something and you're used to where everything looks and everything, and then they change it, you get an update, it pushes it out, and it changes things for you, and then you're kind of lost. Google knows it all. And what I mean by that is it follows you, it follows your history, it can follow you from device to device as you're using, because most people will log in with like a Gmail account or something. So that's all followed on here. So you may see the same things you see on your phone come up on here and you've never been on it. So it's kind of freaky, but that's just how Google works in the world. They want to sell you things. They want you to buy products, and this is the way they get to do it. Firefox has some limited features. I haven't run across too many limited features. So, if you're doing some basic browsing out there, I think it's a great product. So that might be your best bet, but you can try all 3, or you can try, like I said, DuckDuckGo. You could try, I think it's called Startup, and that's a pretty basic one that you can use, and it's pretty good too. One of the sections we're going to talk about today is locating files. Of all my patrons that come in, one of the questions I hear the most is about they've downloaded a file or they have a file, but they don't know where it is. They can't find it. So where do they go? So you gotta, you're out there and you're downloading them, and you've downloaded it once, and then you've closed it after you've opened it and viewed it, and then you don't remember where it is, or you're not sure where it was in the first place. So whenever you download something, and here we just downloaded the Greencast Community Calendar, you're going to see down here in your window, and it's on this internet window. It's not on the taskbar or anything. It's actually on that window down there at the bottom of the line of the internet page. You'll see where it's downloaded that. And over here to the right, it says Show All, or it has an X. So if you close that, it gets rid of that, and then you're trying to find it. But this is where they all default to whenever you first start downloading from the web. They'll pull them down and you'll see them. You can have multiple ones out here depending upon how many times you downloaded something. The place to find any file is located in File Explorer, and this is the icon File Explorer, and it looks like a paper file on a little rack that you hold a lot of files with. When you open it up, you can see where File Explorer is, and it's located under this PC. Remember that icon we talked about on the desktop, and Downloads. So if you ever get lost, you can open up this PC and you're going to see all these descriptions of files, folders, locations. Here's your C drive. If you have an external drive or 2 drives in your machine, that's going to be your D drive. Here's a public, it's a web kind of a drive out there. You've got your desktop here, you've got your documents folder, and you have your downloads. All downloads from the web will go here, or from your mail will go here. So this is where these all hang out. So you kind of want to remember where that location is. You can change it. You can create a folder on your desktop, and you can go in and you can change that setting, or you can navigate to it. So when you downloaded something and you want to move it, you can. You can actually take them from here and drop them over into My Documents or Pictures or whatever. But again, this is where the downloads all go. They all go into Downloads. The best practice is, do you know how to locate your folder? So again, if you've lost it and you don't know where download is, go to the desktop and look at this PC, double click it, and it's going to open up that location. You're going to see your pictures, your videos, and these are all going to be folders. You're going to see documents, you're going to see downloads. So you can navigate through those and find those files that way. You can also do a search if you know the name of the file down there in the left-hand corner and do that search with it. Know how to open and save files to another location. So as you have a file that's open, say a Word doc that you downloaded, you can go up to File, Save As, and then put it in a folder or a location that you know where it's at. You want to clean out your downloads folder occasionally so that way it doesn't get overwhelmed and you can't find everything. So don't download the file multiple times. I've seen where people will download one file 10 or 15 times because they can't remember where it's at. So they'll download it, and it's in there multiple times. Don't let your download folder become so full that you cannot find anything. And I have seen that, and I'm guilty of that myself. So, it just happens, and that's just kind of the way it works. You can think of downloads as a permanent file storage solution. I wouldn't really recommend that, because when you're doing a cleanup or you take it to a technician and they're doing a cleanup, a lot of times they'll get rid of whatever's in your downloaded folder because it's a space that's just, in our world, in a technician world, it's a temporary location. It should never really be used for permanent, but some people do. So here's a review of what we have learned about today. So we learned about Windows 10 desktop icons in the taskbar. We learned how to connect to Wi-Fi. As you're out there, if you're not connected to a wired network, you can connect with a Wi-Fi network. So you're going to remember to go over and click on that little Wi-Fi icon and connect to your home network, your work network, possibly a free network out in the world at a hotel, a restaurant, a library, wherever you're at. We looked at search options and adding icons, so you can search for files, folders, just articles, whatever it is, to add an icon. You remember, you right click and you go into personalize, and you're going to add an icon that way. We've learned about File Explorer and live tiles. We learned about updates and virus protection, and remember, we always have Windows Defender out there, and it's a great virus protection. We learned about browsers, and then our downloads. Whenever we go to download something, the location of where it's at, and how we get back to it. And we learned about our browsers out there and how to get extra browsers if you want. So you can have multiple browsers to look at things, and some browsers open up things and run better than others. So if you're running something in Windows Explorer like the Edge Explorer, and it doesn't quite show up quite right, you can try it in Chrome or you can try it in Firefox and go to those same locations, and you may have a different view of it or more things show up. So I hope you enjoyed this today. I want to thank you for watching this, and you can always reach out to me at the library. Again, my name is Arlene Tincher. I am the Technology Director at the library, and you can reach me at this email of Tincher, Tincher, at pcpl21.org, or you can call me on my line at 765-301-7094. Again, that's 765-301-7094. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to try and put out some more with all the COVID things going on and the library being at a reduced capacity right now. So hopefully we can get some more videos out there and some training documents. But if you need some help, be sure to reach out to me and I will do what I can. Thank you so much. Bye.